All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to one final time for the team analysis of the Asia Cup 2023. And we're going to cover up the Sri Lanka team analysis. We are less than 18 hours left for the Asia Cup to begin tomorrow, where Pakistan, one of the hosts, are taking on Nepal. But the team that has made announcement of the squad at the very end, you can say, as per football terms, the deadline day, you can say they have announced it in the final day. Sri Lanka, we have received the squad today, and we are straight into its team analysis. I have Aryan with me from the Directed. Aryan, welcome to the show once again. It's our sixth team analysis covering and hosting all together. How is it feeling for Sri Lanka this time? Late inclusion,
Yeah,
but what's it?
yeah. I hope we are on the end, on the brink, and tomorrow the action begins. And the host took it a bit late, but you can see the concerns why they did it. They're having tons of injuries, which we will discuss about in a bit. And looks like a decent squad, but there will be some key players that will be missing in the likes of Hasaranga, the biggest one. And Sri Lanka need to really pull their socks up and perform in their home conditions, and not only home but away as well. They are going to Pakistan and playing, so it's a challenging addition for them. They are we not to mention the defending champions, so that's the additional tag they are carrying. So let's see if they can defend their title or not this time.
Absolutely, I agree to that. And defending titles against the big guns. This time we have India, we have Pakistan. So we tried to get a Sri Lankan guest, but we couldn't. So it's time to get an Indian guest. It's going to be India trio, a trio. All of us here. It's we have Sitanshu here with us as our guest. Welcome, Sitanshu, to the show. It's wonderful having you. But it's a Sri Lanka team analysis, mind you. It's not an Indian team analysis. How are you feeling? Sri Lanka team analysis. We were having a word in the backstage. When will Sri Lanka announce the squad? We are waiting because they are one of the hosts. And as Aryan mentioned, they are the defending champions. Your take on Sri Lanka announcing it in the final day?
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned as well, that there are a lot of injury concerns for Sri Lanka leading into this tournament, whereas they just recently concluded their own T20 league, the Lankan Premier League, where all these stars performed for them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the ifs and buts which they had regarding the health situations and the fitness for all those players, I think that would be the primary reason for the delay. But then again, as one of our own fellow cricket expert mentioned in one of our groups, that there is some political things which also might have interfered, so you never know. But yeah, nonetheless, they just finally gave it at the end. At least we did not have to pray for their squad to be announced just 1 minute before the tournament starts.
So
Yeah,
as
agreed.
you go
Yeah,
ahead, Aryan.
go ahead. Okay. All right. So as we look at the squad, and mind you, this is the sixth time that this has happened. We have spoken at the same time. So yeah, this keeps happening. And you have Nisanka in the batting lineup. We were discussing Sitanshu backstage. Sri Lanka nipad jayegi. So you asked me that is it about their batting collapse that you're saying? Maybe we can discuss the squad at that point. Mendes is there, Kushal Pereira, but I want to go to one specific, Dimut Karunaratne. He's someone who wasn't in the one day scheme of things. Suddenly came, and his role seems to be play it as a test match. You don't have to change anything. You have to just hold one end up and let others play freely around you. So, do you think that is
Exactly.
the glue that they have found at the top of the order? Saw in the qualifiers as well.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that is something which Sri Lankan team lacked, and that's why I had actually passed that comment, that whether they'll be bundled out very soon in the matches or not. So that is one thing. Yeah, I mean, everyone, all the Sri Lankan players other than Dimut Karunaratne, who you see, they might be playing those other T20 leagues across, and they might be in that mindset as well, like used to playing those quick fire innings maybe, and then getting out in that fashion. So you need one calm head in the middle, someone who will just stick around. Maybe if suppose for an example, if you Sri Lanka faces Nepal, suppose, which I don't think is going to happen, but if at all, or maybe any other team. So if they are facing and they are chasing a very low target, so in that case, it's like they would require someone who just patiently plays it and not go for rash shots. even though the target might be small, chasing low targets also will be very challenging in certain conditions. So you would require that kind of experience which Karunaratne will bring in, and that stability which he'll provide.
Yeah, agreed. Because it, like you said about stability, and if it's a small total, you need somebody who can build the innings. Because in the Super Fours, they will play a maximum of 3 games, so you do not have the net run rate kind of a funda. You have to look closely to that. But यहाँ पे मैं एक point पे आता हूँ जहाँ पे आर्यन ने हम लोग दोनों को बीच में टोक दिया था वापस कि ये प्लेयर्स लोग का हम लोग जैसे इंडियन प्रीमियर लीग पे भी बात करते हैं कि दे जस्ट हैड एन लंका प्रीमियर लीग बिफोर दैट इंजरीज ये डोमेस्टिक लीग्स क्या ये फिटनेस बोलो कि गेम टाइम बोलो या इनफ टाइम टू रिहैब फॉर देम ये continuous amount of cricket, is it hampering these players, or is it like they want to play these kind of games, they want to play every single week, or they want to play every single game, but it's just that their body is not controlling? आर्यन आपके हिसाब से क्या लगता है कि ये लंका प्रीमियर लीग क्या बहुत देर कर दी कि थोड़ा गैप देना चाहिए था between a tournament like this, just like we were regretting some of the players before the World Test Championship, the gap between IPL and World Test Championship, we didn't have enough preparation time. So do you think this can be one thing that not just India or Sri Lanka, other leagues as well, other countries should look into?
I think yeah, ये देखिए this is board to board depend करता है ना. So if this is BCCI, they can toggle with the schedule, but at the same time Sri Lanka इस time पे they need cricket. They need cricket for their political welfare. They need cricket for their external factors more than the internal thing. So LPL is a big thing in their board because it gets them revenue, basically for all the upcoming events. And Asia Cup was an upcoming event, so they would have planned the LPL. हाँ, पर the बात is कि you would have could have managed the playing time of Hasaranga or whatever players, and we don't know for sure that out of the 3-4 players, is it injury only in the LPL, or is it, as you said, political reasons? But the playing time could have been easily managed. I think B Love Candy won the LPL and
Yeah, yeah.
Hasaranga was the
Hasaranga.
captain. You don't want to do that now because you know it's Asia Cup after this. So I think man management and player management was very poor, and this loss, I don't think Sri Lanka can cope with it. Coming to that, Sitanshu, looking at the bowlers, do you think Hasaranga missing here uh, just weakens their spin attack? They don't have anything basically left in the tank as far as spinners are
Yeah,
concerned.
I mean, if you look at the all-rounder section, you have someone like Dhananjaya De Silva who can bring in some overs, but you can't really depend on him to take those wickets in the middle overs. Like he might, for some reasons, he might just contain the runs. मतलब थोड़ा runs मतलब economical थोड़ा निकाल सकता है maybe from one end, but he won't be that leading wicket taking option for you in
Wicket
your
taker.
line. एंड महेश तीक्षणा का आई थिंक T20 में मे बी लाइक 4 ओवर का स्पेल रहता है, 4 ओवर का रहता है कोटा, तो उसमें फटाफट निकाल लिया, इकोनॉमिकल निकाल लिया. उसका भी उतना ज्यादा लाइक वी सॉ हिम इवन इन द IPL दिस टाइम. ही हैज बीन स्टार्ट लाइक जैसे मेंडिस का था फॉर एग्जांपल, व्हेन ही केम इन एज अ मिस्ट्री स्पिनर, तो बहुत बैट्समैन को मुश्किल हो रही थी टू पिक हिम अप. But then after a point, when they are playing so many leagues across, now though they are playing leagues across the world, like different countries, different leagues, and even international cricket mein. So now people have started picking him up. So that's what we saw even in even this year's IPL for CSK. Ki Tikshana ko also people were picking up, even if they are not going to score runs, they were not giving away their wickets. So that threatening spinner ka option, I see that there is no one in this Sri Lankan squad as of now, unless and until the opponents prove us wrong by giving away throwing wickets to them. वो अलग बात है. But as such, तो spin department में I don't think so.
Yeah, correct. And जैसे आपने अभी बोला, and I want to add one more spinner or an all rounder, that is Dunit Wallage. He is another player that can come into the replacement or likely to replace one into Hasaranga, I feel. जैसे आपने तीक्षणा का बात उठाए, I'm going to go with आप जैसे बोला कि IPL में हम लोग देखे कि 4 ओवर डालते हुए, so you need a man behind somebody to guide him through. And Tikshana and Patirana both played for just one franchise, having one person behind the stumps. Aryan, दोनों आईपीएल में छा गए थे because there was somebody behind the stumps whom we prefer as one of the most जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं बुद्धिमान in the cricket field MSD, but दोनों of them तीक्षणा फिर भी has proved some point in international colors, but Matisha Patirana, he has big shoes to fill because they do not have Chamira, they do not have Madhushanka, two of the prime fast bowlers in the white ball cricket.
Kumara as
They
well.
don't, yeah, Lahiru Kumar as well. So three of their prime fast bowlers not available along with Hasaranga. So ये पेस अटैक अभी के लिए मेरे को लग रहा है कि रजीता के साथ either a Pathirana or Binuro Fernando, anyone among them will play because I think this Sri Lankan side will, no matter if Hasaranga doesn't play, will still go with the spin heavy with the likes of Dhananjay De Silva, Wallage, and Tikshana. This is my thing I prefer. And second thing I would want to ask you, Aryan, is that ये तीक्षणा और मुजीब मेरे हिसाब से दोनों एकदम सिमिलरिटी क्रिकेटर्स लगते हैं क्योंकि दोनों नया बॉल से गेंदबाजी करने में प्रेफर करते हैं. सो अभी जैसे हसरंगा नहीं है तो क्या आपको जैसे वी ऑल नो तीक्षणा's responsibility role will increase. So आप क्या चाहते हो कि तीक्षणा को आफ्टर द पावर प्ले डाले कि यू स्टिक टू हिम bowling with the new ball?
Nee, I think, sorry, first 2 overs of his spell, maybe three, not more than that. I don't want to, vapor out या vanish तीक्सना's over considering हसरंगा है नहीं. तो एक दो ओवर तो ठीक है, but I would give पतिराना the new ball. Now that is an interesting take because क्योंकि उसका बॉल डिप होता है और अगर नया बॉल डिप हो रहा है तो वैसे ही खेलने में मुश्किल होती है. पतिराना इतना नया बॉल से नहीं डालेगा, टीम्स एक्सपेक्ट भी नहीं करेंगी मेरे ख्याल से, बिकॉज दे वुड एक्सपेक्ट हिम टू कम इन द मिडल ओवर्स और डेथ ओवर्स. सो श्रीलंका कैन पुल द रैबिट आउट ऑफ द हैट और पतिराना और रजीता से करा लो, या फिर तुम लेफ्ट फील्ड जाओ और बिनोरा फर्नांडो जो लेफ्ट आर्म पेसर है, जो आई थिंक इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग वर्ल्ड कप भी खेला था
Yeah.
2019. He got injured. So
Yeah.
या तो तुम उस तरफ जाओ. सो श्रीलंका हैज अ फ्यू ऑप्शंस. बाकी वो शाना का captain dibbly dobbly medium pace, you can't take that lightly. He somehow finds a way, so he needs to use himself. बाकियों का तो ठीक है, पहले खुद को यूज कैसे करना है, you need to see that. So they have the options, but all comes down to Shanaka and Chris Silverwood, who has been instrumental in this श्रीलंकन साइड जब से एशिया कप जिताया. फिर एशिया कप आया है, तो कैन दे रिपीट इट? लेट्स सी.
Yeah, like
But
you
is he
said
fit?
about. I'm sorry
But
to
is Shanaka?
interrupt. Yeah, go ahead,
हाँ
Siddhantu.
हाँ नहीं, I was just asking, मतलब is Shanaka fit enough or will he bowl the entire 10 overs का quota? That is another thing.
That's a question which we have for Hardik Pandya too, but फिर भी देखते हैं
हाँ
उसका fitness के ऊपर depend करता है. But as you brought about Shanaka being the captain and stuff, Aryan, there is a fan question out here as well about the same player. Is like, can Dashun Shanaka's variation with the bat and decent striking with the ball as well as the bat will play a huge role in the defending champions run? Sitanshu, आप जवाब दीजिए कि captain's role तो होगा ही, लेकिन him being an all-rounder, a batting all-rounder, hard-hitting all-rounder, middle order में lower middle order पे आएंगे, तो कितना बड़ा रोल रहेगा उसके ऊपर कि not just as a finisher but also being the captain.
हाँ definitely, मतलब especially after we have seen that Hasaranga is missing out this time, तो वो जो finishing में उनको चाहिए एक मतलब cameo type का towards the end, and we have seen him perform against India also pretty well. तो capability पे तो कोई doubts ही नहीं है regarding him with the bat. And as the person who asked in the comment mentioned कि मतलब वो जो variations हैं bowling में, so those might be helpful. But I think मतलब bowling का उतना ज़्यादा नहीं होगा because he might not go for the entire 10 overs. He might be used as that sixth bowling option वाला
Floater.
figure. हाँ मतलब like just to fill out, like maybe Dhananjaya said De Silva plus the Shanaka might give you those 10 overs kind of thing. तो उतना ज़्यादा भी I don't think as a frontline wicket taking option के लिए वो use होगा. Maybe just to cut down the runs, maybe middle overs में. तो ball से उतना ज़्यादा नहीं, but bat से definitely for that finishing touch to the innings. Definitely Shanaka will be important.
अग्रीड.
लेकिन
और हम आई थिंक हमने I think हमने इस लिस्ट से आई थिंक आई वाज लैगिंग. यस प्रीतम, सॉरी अबाउट दैट, माय
Yeah,
नेटवर्क
no
वेंट ऑफ.
problem with that.
गो अहेड.
आपने आपने यहाँ पे बोले थे about giving the new ball to Pathirana, but my question for you is, I've seen one or twice him being giving the new ball by Dhoni, but him having a sling action and not having the control of the
कंट्रोल नहीं हो
swing.
पाता है.
Do you think exactly? Do you think कि ज्यादा extras हो जाएंगे उसको नया बॉल से देने में अच्छा रहे, and like will it be a good thing to go with him with the new ball, or do you think him being a that over specialist वो middle over में चुपचाप आगे 4-5 रन को ओवर करके जाने से and giving him more liberty down the order in the finishing part of the innings, वो better रहेगा, or do you want to try and risky factor and giving him 1 or 2 overs? If it doesn't work, straight off the attack.
आई थिंक पहले 4 ओवर में अगर वो थोड़े बहुत रन दे भी देता है, दैट वो make हो सकता है. मैं नहीं कह रहा कि गिव हिम अ लाइक जैसे हम करते हैं, कोई मेन बॉलर है हमारे पास 5 ओवर का स्पेल तो डालता ही है वो, नहीं तो 4. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि 4-5 ओवर दो, गिव हिम 2 to 3 overs एंड देन सी कि हाउ इज ही प्रोग्रेसिंग विद द न्यू बॉल. अगर नहीं डल रही उससे तो आपको 1 या 2 ओवर में मैक्स पता लग जाएगा. उसमें यू डोंट नीड टू वेट कि उसको मैं तीसरे ओवर तक देखूं. तो आई थिंक वो पता लग जाएगा. और आई थिंक हमने इस लिस्ट में जो है 6 की प्लेयर्स, डिसिल्वा ऑब्वियसली इज इम्पोर्टेंट, बट मैं पॉकेट डायनामो पे आऊंगा. सितांशु, ये इसकी हाइट छोटी है पर शॉट कड़क मारता है. नेम इज पथुम निसांका. New, not a new kid on the block now, recently burst onto the scene. I like his batting somehow. He plays correct shots, cricketing shots, और लप्पे नहीं देखता मैं इससे. So how do you see him going in this? So far, very impressive.
Definitely, I think he will be opening the innings for Sri Lanka. So I would like to see some big runs from him as well. मतलब दूसरी तरफ से whether it is either of the Kushals, whether it is Kushal Mendes or Kushal Pereira, I think they will go for that attacking वाला game. तो वो पार्ट तो सॉर्टेड है. पथुम निशंका, आई होप ही प्लेज अ मेजोरिटी वाला गेम एंड मतलब आराम से टाइम लेके अपना बड़े स्कोर्स पे फोकस हो उसका. सो ही विल बी द मोर ऑफ अ स्टेबल एंड एंकर वाला जो ओपनिंग बैट्समैन है.
आप एंकर निसाका से एक्सपेक्ट करेंगे कि करुणारत्न से?
नहीं, एट द टॉप मतलब जो दोनों ओपनर्स हैं, आई एम नॉट एक्सपेक्टिंग बोथ द ओपनर्स टू गो फॉर द ऑल आउट किल. मतलब whether it's a Mendes or a Pereira who opens the innings, most probably Mendes होंगे.
So it's
So
likely to be Nisaka with Karunaratne.
okay, Nisanka and Karunaratne. Then Nisanka might take the upper hand, like he will go for the higher strike rate. But if it was either of Pereira or Mendes opening the innings with Nisanka, I would say that he could take the liberty to take time and build the innings.
लेकिन आपने यहाँ पे आर्यन निसाका के बाद बोले कि करक मारते हैं. मैं भी और एक करक प्लेयर के बारे में बात करना चाहता हूँ. वापस आया है श्रीलंका टीम पे. गिव्स अस अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ ग्लिम्स ऑफ सन जयसूर्या. कुशाल पेरेरा मारते तो बहुत जोर का है, फ्लिक शॉट तो बहुत है, पिकअप शॉट बहुत अच्छा रहता है. फिर भी माय फेवरेट प्लेयर टू हिट द पिकअप शॉट इज क्विंटन डी कॉक, बट स्टिल कुशाल पेरेरा, one of the finest left-handers Sri Lanka can produce, and I would stick to your point that I would like him to bat in the top as up the order as possible. But I see him batting in the number 3 or 4 position. That depends. It's a headache for Sri Lanka because 4 of these players should definitely play in the playing 11 because they don't have much of an option to decide from. But Kushal Pereira का option क्या, like role क्या रहेगा? Because second and the only left-handed batsman apart from Karunaratne in the top 5 to 6, if I'm not mistaken. आपके हिसाब से
हाँ
क्या हो
मतलब
सकता है?
मेरे दिस क्वेश्चन इज फॉर मी, राइट प्रीतम?
Anybody, yeah, Aryan, you can
हाँ
go ahead.
हाँ, तो ये बंदा है कि चले तो चले तो ठीक है, नहीं तो हम वापस चले. तो वो यू डोंट एक्सपेक्ट हिम टू बी कंसिस्टेंट. पर अगर श्रीलंका 2 में से 1 भी चल गया पहले 2 मैच में, तो ही विल टेक यू थ्रू टू द सुपर फोर्स. और सुपर फोर्स में यू वांट हिम टू गो फॉर 2 मैचेस एटलीस्ट. चले तो ही वोंट मक अराउंड, ही वोंट बीट अराउंड द बुश. इसका ये. और जब कुशल परेरा की बात आती है तो सीधा दिमाग साउथ अफ्रीका में घुसता है, जो inning मिली थी और जीता. तो that was personification कि he is or he won't stick around a lot. So I think he'll play with the high strike rate, or he's coming back into the team. So let's see how he goes. These stats
And
don't
add to
even
your
show
point,
that.
one of the fan has also said that Kushal Pereira can single-handedly win you games. So आपका point जो आपने कहा वो एक ही line पे उसका जवाब दे दिया कि he is capable of winning you matches single-handedly.
हम्म, agreed, agreed. Single-handedly जिता सकते हैं, and अब सितांशु, टू कैप ऑफ दिस थिंग, इट्स DDS. अभी पाकिस्तान को तो बॉल बहुत पेल के आए हैं टेस्ट मैच में, वो भी श्रीलंका में हुए थे, तो मेरे को ये बंदा मतलब टेक्निकली करेक्ट लगता है काफी, मतलब आफ्टर एंजेला मैथ्यूज अगर आई हैव सीन someone building it for Sri Lanka, the crisis man, he's turned out to be the crisis man for Sri Lanka. So his added responsibility, you think Dhananjay De Silva with the bat and the ball is a good fielder as well, so how do you see him going?
वही आई थिंक ऑब्वियसली जैसे हमने बोला था कि स्पिन डिपार्टमेंट श्रीलंका का काफ़ी वीक है, मतलब सीइंग ऑन पेपर राइट नाउ, तो दैट रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू ब्रिंग इन दोज ओवर्स बीच में, दैट विल ऑल्सो बी ऑन हिज पार्ट, मतलब जो पार्ट टाइम ऑफ जैसे स्पिन था. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम लोग 2011 ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप देखते हैं तो इंडियन टीम में यू हैड अ सुरेश रैना, यू हैड अ सचिन तेंदुलकर, यू हैड अ सहवाग, everyone could roll their arm over. So but here it will be like one person filling those other 2 or 3 slots ki matlab, and Yuvraj Singh especially obviously thai matlab front line spinner at that time. So Dhananjay De Silva, the proper key all-rounder wala jo role hai, that is what is going to be seen in this Asia Cup from him. बैट से तो रन बनाने ही पड़ेंगे बिकॉज टॉप ऑर्डर का कोई भरोसा नहीं है एज वी नो. मतलब करंट फॉर्म में भी आई थिंक इट्स ओनली कपल ऑफ प्लेयर्स हु आर इन गुड निक. बाकी तो वही है कि एक दिन अगर चल गए तो चल गए, वरना वापस चले, जैसे आर्यन ने मेंशन किया था. तो
बिल्कुल.
वही है, तो इट विल अगेन कम डाउन टू धनंजय डे सिल्वा बिल्डिंग द इनिंग्स इन द मिडिल, एंड अगेन विद द बॉल्स ट्राई टू पिक मे बी अ विकेट और टू somehow अगर निकल जाए तो या
करेक्ट. बिकॉज जैसे आपने धनंजय डिसिल्वा का बात किया ना, हम लोग मिस कर रहे हैं द लाइक्स ऑफ रायना, युवराज. हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं तिलक वर्मा से थोड़ा गेंदबाजी करे इंडिया के बारे में, से देखते हैं वहां पे क्या चर्चा होता है. लेकिन लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट साइड. लेट्स मूव ऑन टू श्रीलंका एज वी फोकसिंग ऑन देम. इज द फिक्सचर्स टाइप. दे आर अ होस्ट but they are playing one game in Pakistan too, so that's a neutral venue to be honest. But शुरू करते हैं बांग्लादेश के साथ. मैं ये बोलूंगा नहीं कि एट द होम इट्स एडवांटेज श्रीलंका, ऑब्वियसली लिटिल बिट एडवांटेज, लेकिन वो लोग का जो आर्यन जैसे दिखा रहे हैं कि वो लोग का जो टीम अभी बना है, it's a bit broken down. So I think this contest turns out to be an even contest because Bangladesh have a good side. Bangladesh really have a good side, and they could be one of the teams just like Afghanistan on their very good day. They can prove things wrong. सो पहला मैच के बारे में बात करते हैं, फिर हम लोग सीधा चलते हैं कि पालागे से सीधा जाएंगे लाहौर पे. पहला मैच आपके हिसाब से श्रीलंका वर्सेस बांग्लादेश. बोथ टीम्स मेरे हिसाब से 50-50. आर्यन क्या लगता है, होम ग्राउंड पाले के लिए में फिर भी बांग्लादेश के साथ इवन कॉन्टेस्ट, क्या फिर भी देखते हैं कि श्रीलंका इज हैपर एंड
इस मैच में ये होता है कि कौन किसको डसता है, एंड आई थिंक इट्स द बैटल ऑफ द स्नेक्स, तो दैट वुड बी द apt definition for this match. Heated again. Asia Cup creates rivalries. This rivalry has also been created via the Asia Cup, and it will be a heated exchange. Especially Shakib is the captain, so you expect some aggressiveness in this game. And this game is just 2 days away, so another exciting one on the calendar. And Sri Lanka being at home, they should, I expect, high from themselves कि घर पे थोड़ी हारेंगे. चाहे आई मीन लाहौर तो लाहौर है, चलो वो बात की बात है, पर घर पे अगर ये हार गए देन आई डोंट सी देम रिकवरिंग, क्योंकि उधर अफगानिस्तान का ये कि अफगानिस्तान विल बी प्लेइंग बांग्लादेश. इन केस बांग्लादेश 2 मैच जीत जाता है, देन आई वुड प्रेज्यूम कि श्रीलंका का कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत डाउन है और अफगानिस्तान कैन इवन बीट श्रीलंका. सो दिस गेम इज द क्रंच गेम फॉर श्रीलंका. दैट्स माय व्यू. सिद्धांशु, व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
हाँ, प्लस द थिंग इज मतलब बांग्लादेश का मेरे को लग रहा है दे हैव अ बिट मोर ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स राइट नाउ, एंड थोड़े ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स भी हैं एंड थोड़ा ज़्यादा फॉर्म में भी चल रहे हैं, मतलब वो जो एक्सपीरियंस प्लेयर्स भी हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ यू सी अ शाकिब अल हसन, ही इज दैट प्रॉपर स्पिन ऑलराउंडर दैट दे हैव, एंड वो अपने पीक फॉर्म में, मतलब अच्छे फॉर्म में चल रहे हैं अभी. Whereas on the other hand, you had a Hasaranga in your Sri Lankan lineup. So it would have been, I would have said that it is maybe 55-45 in favor of Sri Lanka. But then since you have that key Hasaranga itself missing, so abhi to matlab it looks more like either 50-50 or maybe a 55-45 in favor of Bangladesh.
करेक्ट. एंड होम ग्राउंड पे वो भी हम लोग, इसीलिए आई मेंशन दैट इट्स इन श्रीलंका, बट ऑन पेपर आई थिंक इट्स अ 50-50, बट यू कैन गिव एन एज, दैट्स इट्स अ फेयर पॉइंट. फिर हम लोग जाते, बाई चांस हम लोग पकड़ लेते श्रीलंका हार गए ये वाला, तो दे आर गोइंग टू न्यूट्रल वेन्यू वेयर आई प्रेज्यूम अफगानिस्तान विल हैव मोर support. It's in Lahore somewhere. You will have a lot of Afghanistan fans, and in case Afghanistan बांग्लादेश के साथ हार गए, so it's going to be a decider of a contest, Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan. How big a game that is. What do you take on that game, Siddhanshu? लाहौर पे है, क्या expectation है?
But do you think मतलब considering the Pakistan versus Afghanistan rivalry जो अभी शुरू हो रहा है recently, do you really think Pakistan people will support Afghanistan?
No, I don't think Pakistan people will support, but I think Afghanistan fans will go there.
I mean, but then again, because it is in Pakistan, so obviously Afghanistan fans will go there, but majority crowd I am expecting कि पाकिस्तान का ही होगा वहाँ पे.
And they will
श्रीलंका
support
के तो supporters उतने ज़्यादा जाएंगे नहीं, I don't think so. वो पाकिस्तान जाएंगे उतने.
Correct.
Especially after their own team was attacked in Pakistan. So.
No, एक बात है पर इसमें आई एम जस्ट वंडरिंग फ्रॉम फैंस पर्सपेक्टिव, हम श्रीलंका को क्यों जिता रहे हैं? We want Afghanistan versus Pakistan, that rivalry to stay. So why would we support Sri Lanka and want Afghanistan to get knocked down? So the trend is कि अफगानिस्तान जाना चाहिए, श्रीलंका बांग्लादेश में से कोई भी आए, we don't care. As Indian fans, we love that rivalry, but we'll stay neutral here, and well, whichever team plays best on the day.
Just to add to your point, Aryan, Indian fans भी मजे लेते अगर Mango would have been in the Afghanistan side.
Oh, Mango is dropped.
दोनों तरफ से rivalries हो जाता, फिर भी Mango is dropped. So we just focus on Afghanistan versus Pakistan in case Afghanistan qualifies. Siddhanshu, before we end the fixtures point of view, do you think Sri Lanka can progress to the Super Fours?
Considering they are playing in their home as well, तो उस फैक्टर को रखते हुए आई वुड से कि हाँ, they should.
So how much percentage do you think that they will make to the Super Fours out of 100?
Maybe 70% chances.
Okay, Aryan, you can take forward the next slide.
Fair enough. I mean, हमने 60 दिया है स्लाइड पे विनिंग परसेंटेज, तो या हमें श्रीलंका से उम्मीदें हैं. मतलब इन्होंने 6 बार जीता है, 6 बार नहीं भी जीता है, तो दे आर हैविंग अ गुड हिस्ट्री इन दिस टूर्नामेंट. और श्रीलंका की तो बात की जाए तो पहले तो वी वर इन लव विद दिस टीम. आई मीन the kind of players they have produced, who have contributed to the IPL. आज अगर हम बात करें तो मुंबई इंडियंस में जयसूर्या थे. मुंबई इंडियंस क्यों बनी है? मलिंगा की वजह से बनी है. मुंबई इंडियंस fan following Muralidharan in CSK. So the Sri Lankan players have had a huge relationship with India, if we talk as Indian fans here. But
I just want to add, as a Delhi Daredevils fans, you missed one point. Lifetime contract for Anjali Matthews for Delhi Daredevils as well,
and Faraz Maroof. If we are going down that,
yeah.
I mean, then again, you have Jayawardene in Kings 11 Punjab also scoring centuries.
And Sangakkara. we had that lovely pair as well. So we had Sangakkara and Jayawardene. So yeah,
and then you had a Thisara Pereira for Rising Pune Super Giants.
And us, yeah.
And the list will go on.
Yeah, list will go on. Ajanta Mendes for KKR. Now names are suddenly popping up in the head. So the list will go on. Recent entrants is Pathirana for CSK. So IPL की बात आती है तो बात चल पड़ती है. But we'll shift our focus to Asia Cup. श्रीलंका 60%. अब सितांशु क्वालिफायर्स देखे तो कितने, और व्हाट डिड यू मेक फ्रॉम द क्वालिफायर्स इस टीम के बारे में?
क्वालिफायर्स देखे तो थे, बट आई मीन looked decent. उस time पे they had most of the key players with them. Now they are missing out on them. So that is something which drops their percentage chances. मतलब
Hmm.
main तो वही था, like the key loss of
Like
players due to injuries.
बैटिंग तो फिर भी कर लेंगे, लेकिन गेंदबाजी में आई थिंक दे विल लैक अ लॉट ऑफ नॉट जस्ट एक्सपीरियंस, दे हैव एक्सपीरियंस, लेकिन वो जो फायर पावर है ना, हसरंगा है द विकेट टेकर, ये मधुशंका विद द न्यू बॉल, बहुत ही अच्छे न्यू बॉल से बॉल करते, लहिरू कमारा समवन मेंशन्ड, देन वन मोर प्लेयर दुष्मंत चमीरा. So those chunk of bowlers they are missing. They are all like sure shot in the playing 11. वो मिस करेंगे, लेकिन you have good backups. Apart from Wallagi, I feel the rest of the 3, 9, 10, 11 बहुत ही good replacement है. आर्यन, पहले आपसे आते हैं कि आपके हिसाब से ये playing 11 कैसे है? We have got it from an inside source, a very core source. से आए direct from श्रीलंका, not श्रीलंका, from मेलबर्न से आए हैं. So आपके हिसाब से ये प्लेइंग 11 आपके हिसाब से क्या सही है? क्या चॉपिंग चेंजेस आप करेंगे इसमें?
If I look at this, sorry about that. If I look at this 11 again, not many changes. You just see the difference that Kusal Pereira is back, right? So everyone kind of drops down a number. I mean, DDS would ideally be my number 4,
Hmm.
because Kusal Mended batted at 3 generally. So as I said, everyone drops down a number. And okay, this is okay. 11 is Pathirana. So I'll just enlarge my screen. Yeah, Pathirana, Thikshana, Kasun Rajita, Dunit Velalage. Satisfied with this 11, but very, very thin on the spin department, and that might mean कि पेसरो को लोड लेना पड़ेगा in the middle overs, which they don't like to do. Some like to do, but not all of them. So Shanaka ke over again. Middle overs में, if you want to break down the spells, Shanaka needs to bowl with one spinner. Because you can't force in hot conditions कि तुम्हारा एक फास्ट बॉलर आए और पहले पावर प्ले में भी डाले, फिर तुम्हारा मिडिल में भी डाले, बिकॉज दे डोंट हैव दैट बॉलर हु इज कुक्ड फॉर ऑल 3 फेजेस. लाइक हमारे पास तो बुमराह है, वी कैन आस्क हिम कि भाई विकेट नहीं मिल रहा, तू आ जा मिडिल ओवर में और विकेट दे दे. आई डोंट थिंक दे हैव दैट काइंड ऑफ अ बॉलर who is ready for all 3 phases. So Shanaka ke over become doubly important for me. Sitanshu, any changes for you in the playing 11 in terms of batting order? Because I feel like could हो सकते हैं changes इस batting order में जो अभी है.
I mean, I was not looking at Karunaratne as an opening option. मतलब I was preferring someone like either a Pereira or a Mendes to open. So मतलब my order would have been something like Pereira opening with Nisanka, and Dimut Karunaratne may be coming down in the middle order to give that stability. That is what my mindset was. अब वो depend करता है whether they go in with that itself or not. And yeah, I mean, bowling के options देखोगे तो it's just 6 options. They have exact 6 options with your Dasun Shanaka and Dhananjaya De Silva. तो जैसे हम लोग डिस्कस कर रहे थे, if this is the playing 11, then Shanaka plus Silva has to bring in your 10 overs.
वो the 10 overs.
And
Yeah.
उसके अलावा
And
you just have
आपने
2
आप
frontline pacers.
करेक्ट, एंड आपने यहाँ पे बोला है कि देखिए आप पहले 4 नंबर 1 2 3 4 देखिए, ऑल 4 आर ओपनर्स and we are
Exactly.
missing one player. I don't know why this player has not been mentioned in the playing 11 lately. He has been playing a lot of cricket in the ODI format as well. एक अगर इस चारों में से हम लोग जैसे बात करें कि करुणारत्न को मिस आउट करके सबको ऊपर उठा के, why not have someone like Sadira Samavikrama who has been there with the Sri Lankan lot. नंबर 4 5 में अगर उसको घुसा दिया, और somebody like Dimut Karunatne missing out, these players going up the order. Asalanka, even if required, Asalanka can go up. Sadira Samara Vikrama at number 5, then you have DDS 6, and then Shanaka 7. I think this looks a more settled 11, right?
I mean, I was just about to point that like I was expecting Sadira Samara Vikrama in the 11. बट अभी ये 11 देखने के बाद आई वाज ट्राइंग टू फिगर आउट कि किसकी जगह आ सकता है वो, बिकॉज this if you actually look at this playing 11, it looks like Rajasthan Royals light with like minus the bowling power. You have 4 or 5 openers in your top 4 or 5, and out of that 2 or 3 are wicket keepers.
Yeah. Oh yes.
So your top 2/3 of your playing 11 is RR basically.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Everything.
आई मीन मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि एक एक बॉलर चामी का करुणा रत्ना, आई मीन गिव मी एन अपडेट इफ इज इन द स्क्वाड. आई थिंक इज इन द स्क्वाड.
He's
सो ही इज अ
he's
गुड
not.
bowler. He's not. So I was
No,
thinking
he's not in
someone
the
like
squad.
that. Yeah, yeah. So, but still, someone like that hard length का bowler middle overs में मिल सकता था, and he has a good cutter as well. Karuna Ratne, we have a comment. Karuna Ratne bats at 3. Pereira and Nasanka can hire the strike rate in the power play. हाँ ये भी हो सकता है.
Exactly my point.
uh,
Yeah.
हम्म,
Yeah.
हो सकता है, हो सकता है. Yeah,
बिल्कुल, लेकिन
so
हम मेरे हिसाब से ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि आई थिंक सदीरा समविक्रमा इज नेल्ड, बट किसकी जगह? दिस इज अ पॉइंट टू बी प्रूवन. कुशाल पेरेरा लंका प्रीमियर
It
लीग बहुत
could be
अच्छे खेले.
Pereira. It
I
could be
even I
Pereira
feel
because
so.
of
Even
his
I feel so
form
because
of late.
correct. And off late, and he's playing a T20 coming to an ODI directly into the playing 11. I think it's going to be Kushal Pereira missing out, and Sadira Samavikrama at number 5 with the rest of the players shifting up. But the bowling looks good enough. Bowling का एक ही concern है कि बिनूरा फर्नांडो, he is somebody a lefty, लंबू है, थोड़ा अच्छा बॉलिंग डाल सकता है, लेकिन किसके जगह इज अनदर क्वेश्चन. जैसे आर्यन ने पहले मेंशन किया कि इफ हियर कम्स अ पॉइंट, इफ यू डोंट गिव पथिराना a new ball, then whom are you going to give a new ball? You shouldn't waste 5 overs of Tikshana with a new ball. So यहाँ पे भी और एक पॉइंट आर्यन जैसे बोला है कि दिस इज अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट व्हिच ही मेंशन कि पथिराना को आपको एक नहीं तो 2 ओवर डालना ही है. Otherwise, you have to get in Shanaka going with a new ball, which will not be effective. He might leak runs. I don't know if he can bowl swing deliveries, but with Rajita, you need somebody bowling with the new ball. If Patirana can't bowl with the new ball, then you have to have Binura Fernando because you need early wickets. You do not have the likes of Hasaranga. He has also mentioned that I don't have a go-to bowler. Ki come and give me a breakthrough. Sri Lanka don't have that. They will play a defensive middle overs stage because they do not have that Hasaranga factor. Neither is Tikshana that attacking or that dangerous. आप उसको खेल दोगे, लेकिन if you attack him then he can get wickets. लेकिन ये पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू मेरे हिसाब से पतिराना नहीं तो बिनुरा फर्नांडो. आर्यन आपके हिसाब से क्या लगता है? डू यू स्टिक विद पतिराना इन द 11 फॉर द फर्स्ट गेम that's against Bangladesh, crucial game at home, or will you go with Binura Fernando with the new ball?
if not for any other factor, I'll bring this guy in my 11 for his action only. That's the uniqueness this guy has. No, because राउंड आर्म कितने बंदे खेल लेते हैं यार. आई मीन कितने बांग्लादेशी प्लेयर है जिन्होंने इसको खेला होगा. आई डोंट थिंक उस 11 में ज्यादा प्लेयर है जिन्होंने फेस किया. मे
शाकिब
बी
के
सम
अलावा तो किसी ने खेल नहीं खेला.
हाँ, but that is factor. वीडियो एनालिस्ट बैठा है, क्यों बैठा है? इन इन चीजों के लिए बैठा है कि has he faced it, और एकदम से the ball comes from here. I'll take some time adjusting to it. So why is he called Babe Malinga? Because Malinga burst onto the scene. No one knew what the hell he's bowling. Because of his actions. So that's the uniqueness. And when Rishabh Pant was there, we said X factor, X factor. He is their X factor now due to that action. So I think Patirana, very excited to see and plus the calm head this guy has. Too mature for his age playing cricket. Bowling death overs for CSK. Such a calm head and all. Thanks to Tala Dhoni for the Sri Lanka should thank him. They should invite Dhoni for Asia Cup final and pay him tribute because he gave you Pathirana basically. So to answer your question, yes, Pathirana for me with the new ball.
Agreed. And you
But
stick
then
the same
again,
strategy. Yeah, go ahead.
do you think there will be a lot of spin friendly pitches या pace friendly? उस पे भी depend करेगा. Because if you are getting a track which is not suitable for spinners उतना, so I would say maybe Dunit Velalage की जगह you'll bring in a Fernando. Because you anyways have like one spinner in your Tikshana who will give you your 10 overs. उसके अलावा your Dhananjay De Silva, if at all there's slight purchase in the pitch. अगर spin friendly track है तो you go with these 2.5 spinners, I would say. लेकिन अगर वो पेस फ्रेंडली है, लाइक मतलब एटलीस्ट इन टेस्ट वी हैव सीन पाकिस्तान में तो मतलब हाईवे मिलते हैं वहाँ पे।
Yep.
तो इफ एट ऑल इट्स समथिंग लाइक दैट इन पाकिस्तान, जो हम लोग फॉर एग्जांपल अफगानिस्तान का मैच अगर श्रीलंका से है एंड इफ दैट्स गोइंग टू बी अ फ्लैट ट्रैक, तो आई वुड से मे बी अ फर्नांडो कमिंग इन प्लेस ऑफ वेलालिगे फॉर श्योर, बट पतिराना अगेन डेफिनेटली शुड स्टार्ट, नंबर वन बीइंग द यूनिक एक्शन। और दूसरी बात है कि देर आर 10 ओवर्स, तो ऐसा भी नहीं है कि इट्स लाइक अब जैसे T20 मैच है तो उसमें 4 ओवर हैं, पहले दो अगर निकाले तो बस दो ही बचते हैं, सो दोज टू ओवर और डेथ ओवर्स। बट
Yep.
अभी ही कैन बी एक्सपेरिमेंटेड, मतलब दिस इज इवन गोइंग टू बी अ बिल्डअप फॉर योर वर्ल्ड कप का प्रिपरेशन, तो दे कैन एक्सपेरिमेंट आउट हिज capabilities in the different phases of the match.
Hmm.
तो मे बी
Agreed.
फर्स्ट 10 का जो पावर प्ले है उसमें 2 ओवर निकाल लिए, लाइक आर्यन यू मेंशन, तो पहले दो मतलब पहले 10 में से 2 ओवर निकाल लिए, फिर 11 से 40 के बीच में ही गोज फॉर अनदर ही टेक्स अनदर 5 ओवर्स,
हाँ,
एंड देन
आराम से.
लास्ट 10 में ही गोज फॉर अनदर 3 ओवर्स।
Yes.
The death phase. Yeah.
हाँ वही लास्ट 10
Yeah.
मतलब लास्ट 10 में 41 to 50 ही गोज फॉर अनदर, ही ट्राइज अनदर 3 ओवर्स देयर, so that would be the ideal split. But again, depends. If he is successful in the starting, then maybe shift few more overs in the starting and keep the remaining in the end. And बीच में spinners से निकलवा लो and Shanaka से निकलवा लो.
Yep,
Hmm.
correct.
So
And just
that
to
is how it
before
should be.
we proceed, one of the fan has a question, but just to answer it in short, Lahiru Kamara is injured. He is not available for Sri Lanka selection. That is the reason why he has been missed out. He is a prime bowler which Sri Lanka will miss, along with Dushmantha Chamira, Madhushanka, and the trump card of Vanindu Hasaranga. Yes, Aryan, you can proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I think we basically covered the questions that we were going to ask him. We covered the Hasaranga threat. We just spoke on length on Patirana. That was a recent topic. So, but LPL, yes, sir. I think, to
I
be
think we have
honest,
covered everything.
we basically covered. But we we covered
I
everything in the conversation. So yeah, let me check the comment section if there is
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
we missed out. Um, Sri
Okay, somebody he
Lanka.
says that Sri Lanka in London conditions they can manage many batting orders. So this question has to be framed correctly if it's a sprint friendly. If it's a spin friendly condition, then I think Sri Lanka can be dangerous. लेकिन अगर ये pace friendly होता है, तो you cannot challenge the opposition. If you look into Pakistan, तो तीनों pacers है. If you look into India, तीनों pacers है. If you look into Nepal, they have KC Karan. Is it
KC Karan,
Aryan?
Sompal Kami. So
Correct.
Sompal
Yeah.
Kami, KC Karan. So they have
So they
pacers.
also have a good unit. If you look into Bangladesh, they have Shoriful and Mustafizur. So every team has that firepower, which I think Sri Lanka doesn't have because they don't have somebody who can bowl at 140 clicks. ये missing factor है. If it's a slow wicket, if it's typical Asian conditions, spin हो रहा है पहली 10 ओवर के बाद से, then it's advantage Sri Lanka, advantage Afghanistan. लेकिन otherwise it's going to be a 50-50 or 60-40 like Sitanshu mentioned before for the opposition.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I think we are waiting for fan questions. यार 12 लोग देख रहे हैं तो आपके कोई ना कोई सवाल तो होंगे श्रीलंका को लेके. तो we are waiting for your questions. If any comments are there, just comment it down. We'll take it. And in the meantime, just press that thumbs up button, like the video, and press that subscribe. देखो 16 हो गए. So yeah, we are waiting for questions. In the meantime, we'll take your predictions, Sitanshu.
Yeah,
Who is
let's
going
go with the one
to be
we.
your, since we have, yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, go ahead,
since
Raji.
we have concluded all teams, so we are going to ask you, who are your super fours for this edition of Asia Cup?
uh, I think I'll go with obviously मतलब एक ग्रुप से तो obvious सी बात है इंडिया पाकिस्तान, and the other one I am hoping it will be Sri Lanka and Afghanistan.
Okay, so you're missing out Bangladesh from this side and you're missing out Nepal
Nepal.
from the other end. Okay, so I carry on the question. Super Fours, two finalists. Don't say the Group A winners. Don't say that. Think and then answer.
I mean, the most obvious is the Group A winners, but India का भी अभी, like, the thing is India is also having come from a very weak opposition. Still, they lost against West Indies. So I mean, I would still say, मतलब India के chances, if we are not going for the obvious two, that India Pakistan finals, I would say it would be Pakistan versus Sri Lanka.
All right. Pakistan
And
versus
Aryan,
Sri
for you,
Lanka.
you
Final.
even you can say that. You said so. He says
India.
I missed out. Siddhanshu
He's
says
Pakistan Sri Lanka last time final. Last he said last time ka final.
मतलब
Pakistan
if
versus.
you're forcing me to not go for the obvious India Pakistan finals, then yeah, Pakistan Sri Lanka.
it's not a force, but it's a natural opinion. If you say India Pakistan, we will be happiest. Like you
But
mentioned
I
before.
मैं तो
Uh,
मैं I'll go with India Pakistan.
नहीं नहीं इतना डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन नहीं पूरा पूरा आएंगे उसका पहले सितांशु आपने पहले बोला था निसाका के बारे में कि आई वुड वांट हिम टू स्कोर लोड्स ऑफ रन्स आपने ये मेंशन नहीं किया कि इंडिया के खिलाफ इंडिया के अलावा आपने बोलना चाहिए था कि इंडिया के अलावा मैं चाहता हूँ कि बाकी टीम के साथ वो रन बनाए लेकिन लेट्स गो टू आर्यन ग्रुप ए विनर्स ग्रुप बी विनर्स बताइए दो दो टीम्स ग्रुप ए छोड़
अच्छा
दीजिए अब
ओ
ग्रुप ए पे जाइए
Group B, Afghanistan and Bangladesh.
Why do I sense you badly need an Afghanistan versus Pakistan game in the Super Fours? Okay, and in the Super Fours, I'll ask you the
I
first
need
question.
it. I need it because that is the only
Okay, I'll ask you. I'll break your Super Fours question.
I need it. I need it.
Winners of India versus Pakistan in the Super Fours. Winners of Pakistan versus Afghanistan in the Super Fours. Then your finalists.
Okay. Okay. India winning against Pakistan and Pakistan beating Afghanistan, and then both going into the final. That's my take.
So you're saying an India Pakistan obvious at Colombo. Okay, so we look into the final phase. This is the time where we have each and every time we decide who is going to be what from your team. But जैसे आर्यन ने एक नया चीज लाया इस लाइव वीडियो पे it's the last team we are going to discuss. So let's elaborate it more. Leading wicket taker of the tournament, leading run scorer of the tournament. We'll start with Aryan with you.
Leading wicket taker of the tournament. If it happens, I'll be the happiest person on earth, and which will be good signs for World Cup. Jasprit Bumrah, he's going to be the leading wicket taker, and run scoring. I think it's Babar versus Virat. Anyone can do it. It's a 50-50 call for me. Either Babar or Virat.
Okay. Okay. Stanshu?
Obviously, leading run scorer में तो it should be Babar versus Virat, but I am going against the odds. I am backing Hitman to come good in this Asia Cup. And
Okay.
for leading wicket
And wicket
taker,
taker?
I think should be Shami.
Okay. So it's none of the both of you have picked Indians. I would pick an different choice in the wicket takers. I would go with Shine Shah Afridi. I think he impressed me a lot in the 100. I would go with Shine Shah Afridi as the leading wicket taker. And obvious, my heart would want King Kohli to be the leading run scorer. And leading run scorer में आप लोग जैसे बाबर के साथ compare किया, I would compare विराट कोहली with मोहम्मद रिजवान. I think he's one player who is very underrated. I think दोनों में से कोई एक leading run scorer बन सकते हैं. And wicket taker, I would go with Shaheen Shah Afridi. And I think तीनों में से being Indians, unbiased, biased, जो भी सब लोग कहे, we want India to win. So ये तीनों के on behalf of the three of us, I'm answering this question. And with that, I think we end this live session exactly in
उससे
50
पहले
minutes time. Yeah,
उससे
please,
पहले
Sudhanshu.
I
Sorry to.
I just feel that मोस्ट रन्स के अलावा मोस्ट अपील्स के भी अगर अगर कुछ प्रेडिक्शन होंगे तो मोहम्मद रिजवान विल लीड दैट.
मोहम्मद
मोस्ट
रिजवान क्यों?
Yes,
आप
behind the scenes.
ठीक है, तो मोहम्मद रिजवान
मुशफिकर
आप बोल रहे हैं मोस्ट
इटली
अपील.
मुशफिकर वर्सेस
आपने मेरा ले लिया. I would have. My next question was who will have the most unsuccessful reviews, and I would have picked Bangladesh
अच्छा.
for that. I would have picked Bangladesh for the most unsuccessful reviews. खैर चलो देखेंगे, कल से शुरू हो रहा है. Less than 18 hours time we have for the Asia Cup to begin. Then we'll see what happens. We'll have the India versus Pakistan on the 2nd of September, our first game. Before that, also we will have a team previews in the YouTube channel. We'll notify you definitely before that. And till then, thank you so much to our guest, first of all, Siddhanshu. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया for joining us on a team that we are not familiar with, but still we are very much known about Sri Lanka. Thank you so much for joining. Once again, we both, Aryan and me, hosting one more team, and it's the sixth and final Asia Cup team, that is Sri Lanka. Thank you so much, each and every one of you who have joined us in the live session, and each and every one of you who have given your questions as well. Not just today, throughout the Asia Cups, filled with questions, filled with love and likes. But still, if you haven't watched the previous 5 videos, don't forget to go to the DirectHit as well as the Fifth Umpire. You will find all the 5 videos there with a lot of climax, 5 or 6 different guests, with 5 males and 1 female guest as well on the Indian day as well. So thrilled towards the end of the show we have. And thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to like this video as well as the previous 5 runs as well. Subscribe to the directors as well as the Fifth Umpire, and also press the bell icon. Till then, thank you so much, and we take your leave. Goodbye.
करो करो सब कर दो. एंड यस, एज ही सेड, मतलब मेरी कंक्लूजन तो बनती है. मैं क्यों बिना कंक्लूजन के रहूं, तो जो इसने कहा वो सब कर दो. मैं हिंदी में कंक्लूड करूंगा कि इंडिया ये एशिया कप जीत रहा है, और बाकी सारी टीम्स को ऑल द बेस्ट. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much.